Welcome to Strip Coverlet, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Adrian Ford, and we're here for another poetry discussion, a poetry discussion that comes to us from the hallowed pages of Emily Dickinson. And in such, it is in two separate playlists here on the channel. Number one, obviously, the poetry discussion playlist, but also the Emily Dickinson poetry discussion playlist. There is a playlist strictly for poems by Emily Dickinson, and we are getting around closer and closer to the first episode of Dickinson Darkly, which will be a poem-by-poem journey through Emily Dickinson. Real quick, guys, if you enjoy what I do here, hitting that like button tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, literature is the only thing that I talk about on this channel. Novels, poems, short stories, etc. And if you have suggestions for what should come next, leave them in the comments section, because I do a lot of poetry on the channel, and I am returning to short stories here shortly. But today's poem comes to us from Emily Dickinson. It is "I Heard a Fly Buzz When I Died," and it reads as such. I heard a fly buzz when I died. The stillness in the room was like the stillness in the air between the heaves of storm. The eyes around had wrung them dry, and breaths were gathering firm for that last onset when the king be witnessed in the room. I willed my keepsakes, signed away what portion of me be assignable, and then it was there interposed a fly, with blue, uncertain, stumbling buzz between the light and me. And then the windows failed, and then I could not see. So what are we doing here? We have, obviously, the story of someone on their deathbed. Everyone's gathered around, waiting for them to die. They have signed away all of their possessions, and then the dying notices that fly. There interposed a fly. And then, while we're concentrating on that fly, with uncertain stumbling buzz between the light and me, the vision fails. Our speaker's vision fails. Presumably, our speaker has died here. Now, here's where I want to really sort of, and this is, I don't know that I have ever heard anyone really concentrate on this line, or these lines, I guess I should say. For that last onset, when the king be witnessed in the room. We're talking about God, right? We're talking about the king coming and claiming us. But there's the problem. We're waiting for that king to be seen in the room, for that last onset, when the king be witnessed in the room. The king will come and take you and claim you back to the afterlife. Only there's a problem here, isn't there? I heard a fly buzz when I died. Oh, so our speaker, the same one that's giving us this here, our speaker's already dead. Our speaker has died. Our speaker has died. And still they are here speaking to us. Still our speaker persists. So what has happened here? The king came, or the king was supposed to, when the windows failed and then I could not see. The king was supposed to come. The speaker died. Our speaker's still here. So, what are we doing? Why is that? How can that be? What is wrong with our speaker here? Why would the moment come and pass and our speaker here be locked with the living? Well, when you think about a ghost, okay, and I'm not trying to get spooky, Kind of, that's what we're talking about here. We're with a speaker who has died, meaning either A, we, the reader, are with them here or there or wherever it is that whatever religion says, or that speaker is still with us. And in the lore of the ghost would only be remaining unclaimed by the afterlife. Ghosts remain sometimes, we're told, if there is business to be had here, if there is something bothering that spirit into existing. So I kind of want to point something else out with this poem. The fly buzz when I died. The buzz came between me and the light. So that wriggling fly came between our speaker and the afterlife. That wriggling fly, that buzzing fly, came between our speaker and the afterlife, distracted our speaker from dying. What else happens here to distract our speaker from dying? Well, we have dead right up here in the first stanza. The second paragraph is about all of the people who came to see us on our deathbed. Our speaker was laying on the deathbed, and all these people, the eyes around, had wrung them dry, and they were waiting to witness the king in the room. Interesting. Okay. But while we're waiting, all of these people are waiting for the death that eventually comes. I willed my keepsakes, signed away what portion of me be assignable, and then it was there interposed a fly. That fly happens in the same stanza as our keepsakes being willed away. Oftentimes, most breakdowns or analyses, discussions will circle around, ironically, in this poem. Death is a very big thing. A fly is very inconsequential in our lives. This would be a statement on those inconsequential things in our lives that we focus on when something important and unchangeable is happening. A lot of times we don't get this being seen, translated as the same thing as this. The keepsakes and the fly are on the same level. They happen in the same stanza. They are both distractions from the big thing. They are both destructive towards peace of the soul, towards the soul moving on. As Chuck Palahniuk would have us know, the things we own end up owning us. Why do you know what a duvet is? And you have to wonder where this sort of ethos would originate for a person. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously easy to say that you don't care about things, right? You are not a materialistic person, okay. But from whence the impetus spring to write this poem? saying that the same thing as a fly are your loved belongings. I mean, it's not just anything, it's the stuff you're keepsaking away. It's the stuff that you are willing off. I willed my keepsakes, signed away what portion of me be assignable. And then it was there interposed a fly. This is really equating that fly to your physical stuffs and being so entertained, being so preoccupied with that physical stuffs, the soul does not move on. That is all I have for this poetry discussion. If you enjoy what I do here, hitting that like button really does help me out here on the channel. It tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers, and if you find yourself here by chance but not design, consider hitting the subscribe button in order to stay around for more literature talk. I hope to have you back for the next one.